What's up, world? Uko here from Better Therapy Now, where you sharpen your discipline. 3 things that you need to do to develop a CEO level schedule. A CEO level schedule is a time management tool built for impact, clarity, and control. If you're a business student with plans to be an executive or a business owner, you have to start managing your life the same way that you will operationalize your business. And a lot of that comes down to time management, decluttering your schedule, and controlling your progress. A CEO level schedule is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters. You have to have a thorough understanding of what moves the needle forward towards your goals. And you have to always be on the lookout of just doing to-dos, like doing tasks, just because it makes you feel busy and feel productive. When I was a college student, one thing that I always wanted to do was to be studying in public so that people could see me. It made me appear and feel more productive, even if I was just doing tasks that looked like studying but weren't really educating me or teaching me the material. Like if I should be, like, a hard task would be to practice problems or go through case studies, but instead I would just be casually reading the textbook just to feel like I was studying and to look like I was studying, but it wasn't really moving the needle forward in terms of my goal set. So the first thing you want to do is create a time vision, not just a to-do list. And this comes down to just asking yourself some simple questions like, what is the 1 or 2 things that I need to do today or this week to make me feel more accomplished instead of just busy? And what are the 2 or 3 tasks that are the most important to get done? One huge game changer for me in terms of my to-do list is that I started writing down my to-do list, reviewing my to-do list, and then selecting 1 to 3, but no more than 3 of the most important tasks that I wanted to get done. And then at the end of the week, I would go back and review all of my top 3 tasks each day and see how many that I got done, just to kind of hold myself accountable. Next is to time block like a boss, but also defend your time and divide those blocks into things that you need and that fit your lifestyle. 1, you should have CEO blocks. This is where you're doing your most important task and really executing by doing deep work. Then you might have admin blocks. This is when you're doing kind of those lower energy tasks like running errands or checking emails. And then you want to have a time for sleep and then also recovery blocks. And sleep and recovery are separate. You need time where you're sleeping properly, and then you need time when you're awake but not necessarily doing deep work or small errands. And then number 3, you want to develop CEO habits, reviewing, reflecting, and resetting your life each week. You're not just managing tasks, you're managing your energy as well. One thing that's really moved the needle forward and in a much more productive direction for me is my ability to reflect each day and at the end of the week. Each day I review my entire to-do list before I go to bed, and I identify what I didn't do. I identify what challenges or obstacles were in the way that prevented me from doing that. And then I reflect so that I can use what I learned in that reflection to build the next day's to-do list. At the end of my week on Sunday, I reflect on the entire week, and I have a list of the most important goals for that week. And my list is probably longer than it should be, which I'm still struggling with. I think this week it was like 8 or 9 tasks. Last week was around 3. You don't want more than like 3 or 4 tasks in terms of most important weekly tasks, but I review them. I identify the issues that came up, like what's preventing me from getting closer to those goals. And I also ensure that my daily to-do lists are in line with my weekly goals. And my weekly goals are in line with my quarterly goals. If you track your life like this, always reflecting, reviewing, and making small adjustments that are strategic, you can accomplish very big things. My recommendation, if you do nothing else that I talked about, buy a planner and use it. I'm Uko from Better Therapy Now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.